It's less than 3 weeks away. So, wouldn't it be nice if you had the perfect gift for your mother for Mother's Day? Something that is unique just for her that she'll remember for years to come? Let's talk about a gift that is going to be just exactly what you need for this Mother's Day. Hi, I'm Diane LaFoon, and I'm here with your Joy Tip of the Week. And I'd love to know if you're from the U.S., do you celebrate Mother's Day, which will happen May 9th, coming less than 3 weeks away now? How do you celebrate? Tell us what your special memories are of Mother's Day. So, moms are pretty special to all of us, aren't they? I mean, they gave us the gift of life. Let me show you my mom. She is beautiful. This is my mom with my great niece, Graylin, who visited this past weekend. And of course, Grandma Great doesn't mind baby Graylin's hand in her water at any time. It's just a great blessing to have her here to enjoy. So that's my mom, and she is very special to me. And many of you know that Mom and I live together now, and so we spend lots of special time together. And I will hopefully come up with a great gift for her for Mother's Day coming up May 9th. But as you draw closer to remembering your mom for Mother's Day, I just wanted to give you an idea that will light up her smile and be very memorable that she'll think about over the years, and it will be a very special memory for her. But first, I do want to give you a little bit of background. So, a study by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, we're hearing a lot about them these days, but this has nothing to do with what we've been hearing from them recently. But a pretty recent study in recent years indicated that the average American citizen has 212 or more chemicals in their bloodstream and in their urine right now. Chemicals in your bloodstream and in your urine. And this is largely due to something that happened back in 1976 called the Toxic Substance Abuse Act. So it was established to protect us back in 1976, but what they decided was that they were using so many chemicals that they regarded as safe, that was in everything and everybody was using them anyway, that they said 80,000 chemicals didn't have to be tested or tested very little to be considered safe at that point in time. That's a little, excuse me, that's a little scary that we're using more than 80,000 chemicals in our products, personal care products, fragrances, things that we use around the house that really haven't been tested for safety. And because of that act in 1976, they're allowed in all of our things that we buy and things that we may use every day in our home. So it's important to know what ingredients are in the things that you buy and the gifts that you give, especially to mom. According to a May 2019 article in The Guardian, in cosmetics alone, the European Union has banned or restricted more than 1,300 chemicals, while the US has only outlawed 11. That's a big difference. For the European Union to say, hey, we've got 13 chemicals here that we're not going to allow in any products that are going on your skin, which get absorbed into your body, and for the US to say there's just 11 here that we think are not so good. There's a big difference there, and there's got to be a reason for that. And I think it's that act that happened in 1976. So as you look for something for your mom for Mother's Day this year, take a look at the ingredients because a lot of these so-called safe chemicals, they can cause terrible things in your body. For example, they can disrupt hormone production, and hormone production just kind of balances everything out and makes us all work properly. They can cause immune system problems. They can contribute to asthma, which we don't want breathing problems for our moms, do we? They can actually cause tumors, cell mutation, nerve damage, blindness, sterilization. There is just a long list of what these so-called safe chemicals can do to us. So it's scary. And what can you do to know that your mom's going to be safe? You can make your own gift, your own personal gift that you know every ingredient that has gone in it is safe for her. So I wanted to tell you there was a Christmas a few years back that I wanted to give something very personal and unique to each one of my family members. And so I decided to create their own personal fragrance for each of them. I got out all my essential oils, which is a lot, I'll tell you, and I laid them out all on the kitchen counter. And I went to work creating a signature fragrance for each of my family members. And then I put a little note in as to why I chose the oils that I did choose and why I considered that something personal just for them. So, when I did that, I knew that it was a hit when my brother, yes, I did it for the guys too, when my brother was the first one that came back to me with his empty bottle and said, Here, guess what? I want another dose. So it was very memorable. It was very personal. It was very special because of the note written. And so this is something that I want to encourage you to do for creating a very unforgettable gift for your mom for Mother's Day. So you have a choice, with a personal fragrance. Some people like a spray, some people like a roll-on. I personally prefer a roll-on over a spray because I feel like it lasts longer. It stays on the skin longer. A spray can tend to evaporate a little more quickly, I believe. And so the other thing is you can get really cool roll-on bottles these days. This is one that has crystals in it, and there's a whole another teaching subject on why crystals are good to have in your roll-on bottles. You can get pretty bottles, ones that are colored or decorative. It's great options out there. And again, you can get them on websites like younglivinggear.com, or Etsy has lots of different places where you can get empty roll-ons. Even Amazon has empty roll-on bottles that are available for you. So I would recommend that. You can also, like I said, get little spray bottles as well on some of those sites. And if you prefer to make a spray, that's fine too. So next, what you want to do is choose a carrier oil to go with what you blend together that doesn't have a fragrance at all, but is going to carry that oil to that mother as she applies the personal fragrance. So for sprays, you'll want to do something that doesn't have an aroma, that is going to kind of be a solvent that distributes the oil throughout the bottle. And that can be either witch hazel, and you want an unscented witch hazel, or vodka. A lot of people use vodka. And I'll be honest with you, I've just used plain purified water before. The only trick to using just water with no solvent in it is you've got to make sure you shake it up really well before you spray it, because you want those oils distributed through the water. So if you don't want them to have to shake their spritzer, then you'll want to be sure and include either some vodka or witch hazel or something to get that oil distributed throughout the oils, or throughout the bottle. So then for roll-ons, like I said, roll-ons are my favorite. And for roll-ons, you'll want an unscented carrier oil like jojoba oil or almond oil. My favorite oil to use as a carrier oil is called V6 Vegetable Complex Oil. And of course, that's from Young Living. It's a great blend of different oils. There's several different oils in it, 4 or 5 different oils, and they're all created to combine together to be very moisturizing and nourishing to the skin, and they're good for all skin types too. So that V6 Complex blend is a great carrier oil available from Young Living as well. So just like in music, you want to create a beautiful harmony with your essential oils. You want to create a blend of top notes, mid notes, and middle notes, and then bass notes, just like in music, because this creates a wonderful blend that works together for a personal fragrance. So a top note is the note that kind of you smell it first when you first put it on, and when you first are approaching somebody who's just put on a personal fragrance like this. That top note is usually a citrus or maybe peppermint, something bright and cheery and in those high notes, I guess. The middle note is a little more rounded. It's like the heart of the aroma. It's typically warm. It's maybe going to last a little bit longer as far as the aroma goes, and it's going to last several hours on the skin too, especially if you use that roller bottle instead of the spray. And then the base note, that's kind of what brings it to lasting longer and longer as a blend. The base note is going to last far longer than any of the other notes. And it's the scent that you might smell long after the others have evaporated or disappeared altogether. So it creates that lasting impression. So I thought I'd show you some examples of the top notes, the middle notes, and the base notes. Like I said, the top notes, they have that citrusy, the bergamot is citrusy, lemon citrusy, peppermint, or some of the herbs kind of can be a top note as well. The middle notes are more things like clary sage, ylang ylang, geranium, maybe more of a floral even note in those middle notes. And then the base notes are things like frankincense and patchouli and myrrh and sandalwood, things that are going to be a lot deeper in their aroma, as well as going to be long lasting as far as the aroma throughout the day. So those are your notes, and you want to be sure, like I said, to create a harmony of those notes using top notes, middle notes, and base notes when you create this signature scent. The other thing you can do too is you can take an already put together blend. Like here's a blend called Hope. This one is called Envision. This one is called Joy. How about that? There's a blend called Joy. And so you can simply take these oils to create, you just take, it's actually good to use an 80-20 ratio. So you'll want 80% carrier to 20% oil. So you just, depending on how big your bottle is, you don't have to be exact. You can eyeball, about 80% of the carrier oil and 20% of whatever oils you're choosing, whether you're combining your own or you're using a blend like Joy Essential Oil Blend. And so that's something to think about too. What does your mom remind you of? What kinds of scents and aromas make you think of her? Does she give you hope? Does she strike a new envision for you? Does she help you to see the future? Does she bring a smile to your face and give you joy? So those are the kinds of things to think about too. And I do encourage you to write that note that goes with the personal fragrance when you give it to her, because that will make it all the more special, telling her the reasons you chose what you chose as you made this blend for her. Now, would you like to create a personal fragrance for your mother this year? I have the best way for you to do it, and that is if you text the keyword mom to this cell phone, 989-244-8448. That's me. Then I will send you a few texts over the next few days that will kind of dive in deeper as to how to create a personal fragrance as a gift for your mom. And then it also includes 3 very specific recipes to choose from that you can use to make that gift for your mom as well. And there are a couple of cologne recipes along with it for the men in your life if you're interested in that too. So please do text mom to 989-244-8448, and I will get you on board. They'll start probably tomorrow with just a few texts, a couple of days apart, so that you can learn more about creating a personal fragrance and that you can have those recipes as well if you want those prefab recipes for making a personal fragrance for your mom. You'll also want to keep an eye here on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm going to have some more suggestions and recipes in my stories and my posts for you, because we want to make that day special for mom, don't we? It needs to be very, very special for her. So remember, a celebration is the best time to choose joy, isn't it? And joy doesn't simply happen to us. We have to choose joy every day. See you next week.